NFL 2026 quarterback class isn't flashy. It's not 2024 with Caleb Williams level height. It's not the 2021 class with 5 quarterbacks going in the first round. This class is kind of different. It's layered, it's volatile, and it's going to test front offices in a way most quarterback classes don't. Because at the top, you have a prototype quarterback. In the middle, you got some chaos. And at the bottom, you have traits, but not certainty. So we go get into this class and we go break down this class in layman's terms for the casuals to get. This is like a semi deep dive into this quarterback class, and we gonna talk about it. So we gotta talk about, of course, Fernando Mendoza. He is the prototype quarterback. If this was 2001, coaches would design their dream quarterback and accidentally build a Fernando Mendoza. 3-star recruit, Yale commit. He flips late to Cal, red shirts, starts 2 seasons, transfers to Indiana, wins a national championship, wins the Heisman. Mendoza isn't overwhelmingly physically. His arm, good, but not elite. His legs, shifty, but not a rushing threat at the next level. But here's what does matter. He processes pretty quickly. He works a full field in his progressions. He's a diabolical back shoulder placement type of thrower. Throws receivers open, can operate multiple offensive systems. We saw him at Cal, and then we saw him behind Kurt Signetti. Excuse me, and he did a better job. Um, he's pretty much the cleanest prospect in this draft. He's not spectacular, but he looks to be stable in the projections. And in today's NFL quarterback, stability at the quarterback, it's a luxury. Um, our next guy is Ty Simpson. He is like the volatile chess player. Simpson might be the smartest quarterback in this draft. He's a former 5-star. He waited 3 years at Alabama. He was second team All SEC in his only full starting season. His pre-snap reads is pretty elite. Manipulating coverages, he's advanced. Pocket awareness, he's crafty. But here's the tension. He lacks top-tier arm talent. He's undersized. And his 2025 season dipped so sharply in that second half, scaring a lot of teams away from him. But it was possible that he fell apart due to his injuries. Now, the first half looked NFL ready. Second half looked replaceable. Simpson wins in between the years, but we all know how the NFL works. You got to win outside the numbers. So we'll see how he looks going forward. Now, my guy that I was high on, but still has some things he needs to work out is Garrett Nussmeier. The gunslinger with the medical file. That's what I call him, right? 2024, first round buzz. 2025, draft stock slides. LSU, Nussmeier flash with real arm talent. He will attempt throws other quarterbacks won't even see. But when you have a shoulder injury, an abdominal injury, a knee injury, an ankle, then he was sacked a million times, and he was inconsistent with his velocity throwing to the outside. Those could become issues. But when he's right, he's electric. When he's reckless, he's turnover prone. And we all know the NFL does not reward chaos unless you are elite physically, like a Josh Allen, like a Lamar Jackson. My boy Nuss, he ain't elite physically. So he's another prospect to look at. The one big enigma that we're going to talk about now is Taylen Green. He is the home run swing. He kind of reminds you of I'm not gonna say Anthony Richardson with the physical talents, but you can kind of see some of the comps there. Uh, but if you're a trace guy, he is the guy to go to. 6'6", track background, can reportedly throw the ball 75 yards down the field. I think we've heard that before in the last couple years. He transferred from Boise State to Arkansas. He won the MWC Championship MVP, most physically gifted QB at the Senior Bowl. But here's the reality: he has an inconsistent release point, wildly volatile accuracy. One play, perfect deep ball. Next play, air mail on a 5 yard out. He is a projected player. This is a projection. He's a project type of guy. But he's also the type of guy that'll get a general manager fired. Next guy we got to go to who had a lot of hype coming in was Cade Klubnik from Clemson. He is the unfinished 5-star player. Former Texas Gatorade Player of the Year, elite athlete, arm talent to stretch every blade of the grass. But after 3 years as Clemson starter, minimal growth. At his best, creative, dangerous, explosive. At his worst, panic under pressure, forces throws, takes sacks. He has some brilliance, then he got some chaos. Equals no consistency. Our next guy out of Penn State, Drew Allar, we call him the tools prospect, the tool man, if you want to, abbreviate it. Massive frame, elastic arm, flashes that look like a franchise savior, but the mechanics are loose, processing is slow, relies too much on his arm talent. Now, he returned to school instead of declaring, then he regressed last season. But you can't teach that size and that arm strength. But you can't ignore the stagnation, and he's coming off a horrific leg injury. So we'll see how he looks coming up in all the workouts and stuff. Uh, then I have the experienced tier, backup floor guys. These quarterbacks have traits, but they project more as stabilizers than saviors. Of course, you got Carson Beck, who probably could be a system dependent pocket operator. So think about the 49ers, that type of system where he can come in and operate within the system. Probably would fit well there. You got Biren Morton. He's a high volume air raid arm with volatility. Cole Payton, who is starting to rise up everybody's board because he comes from the FCS, but he's a dual threat and he can layer his throws. Mark Gronkowski out of Iowa, he's an experienced winner, limited ceiling. You got Luke Altmaier, he's reliable, depth profile. You got Miller Moss, of course, clean mechanics, arm strength a little weak. Of course, you got the Diego Pavia. He's a little electric guy. We'll see how it translates to the NFL. We got Jack Strand too. He's a D2 guy. He's dominated D2, but of course he has question marks about him. So we'll see how that goes. These guys aren't really roster builders, uh, but they got potential, and we'll see what happens with them. My opinion, this type of quarterback class is the quarterback class that get people fired. Uh, this is one of the quarterback classes. If you miss on that quarterback and you draft that quarterback too high, and you say that he's going to be your franchise guy, and you miss, it can have you packing your bags and putting your pictures in your box and walking up out of the facility. So this is one of these quarterback classes where you have to kind of hit on the guy, make sure if he is a development guy that he gets what he needs because he may have the traits to get to that next level and be an everyday starter or maybe even become elite. So we'll see because after Mendoza, there's really not a QB2 in this draft. We even have our questions about Mendoza. So what that means is teams drafting in the top 10, it might be a reach to even get a quarterback after Mendoza. Uh, Teams with an aging veteran, they'll probably look at some of these guys and maybe try to fast track them, get them in maybe by mid-season if one of the quarterbacks go down and the season's not going anywhere. So you guys kind of get what I'm saying. The projection on these QBs are not being able to start right away. And when you look at these quarterbacks, and I've talked to people before, you can't talk yourself into these guys being starting quarterbacks just because of traits. When you see traits, it's more about the development and can you get the most out of them. And then when it's time for them to start, you may have your guy. And you look at the situation, and the line you can't cross in these situations is you cannot draft a quarterback high because of what he might become. You draft him because of what you see on the tape. Mendoza consistently processes. Simpson consistently diagnoses pre-snap. Green consistently flashes that it factor, but he inconsistently executes. So if it's more ifs than it is, then you kind of crossing the line. And that is my conclusion on the 2025 quarterbacks. It's not a sure thing. Fernando Mendoza, he may not be a sure thing either. But even when we have quarterbacks and we feel like they're going to be a sure thing, we have the Trevor Lawrences, you have the Andrew Lucks. You could go all the way back in the day to a whole bunch of quarterbacks. You could bring them up. Leave it in the comments below if it's a quarterback that you thought was going to be the real thing, the real deal, and a for sure thing, and he just never lived up to the hype. Make sure you guys put that in the comments below. You never know. You never know. You never know who's going to be that prospect that no one saw coming and they be the next big thing. We didn't see it with Tom Brady. No one's going to say they did. Even Brock Purdy being Mr. Irrelevant, he's been a really good quarterback. So we could go down the list. This is our projections. This is all what we all see on tape. And sometimes these guys can really get better or these guys can regress. So we shall see. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And until the next video, peace.